This video is for anyone who's thinking about walking away, for the ones who are tired, hurt, and quietly wondering, is it too late for us? But wait, before we begin, comment on where you are watching from, and please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff tomorrow. Comment "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community, and comment on what you learn also. So let's get started. Before you let go, please hear this, because most couples don't break up because they stopped loving each other. Relationships don't usually end in a flash of anger or hatred. What happens instead is a slow buildup of misunderstandings, unmet needs, and silent exhaustion. Often, couples don't even realize how far they've drifted until they're standing on the edge, wondering if there's anything left to save. They break up because they feel stuck. The pain feels endless, and both people are unsure how to move forward. There's no roadmap to work through the hurt, and no guide on how to rebuild what has been broken down. They don't fall out of love, they just stop trying because they don't know how to reach each other anymore. Sometimes it's not that love is gone, it's that we're too hurt, too tired, or too scared to try one more time. It's easy to confuse emotional fatigue with a lack of love. We think that because we're drained, the relationship is over, but what we're really feeling is the weight of unspoken words, the exhaustion of failed attempts, and the fear that the connection is too far gone to be fixed. We start to retreat inwardly, thinking it's easier to pull away than face the painful truth that we might need to try again, and that it's going to be hard. If you're in that in-between place right now, not sure what to do, just comment "I'm here" below. And if you want real talk about love, not just quotes and quick tips, hit that subscribe button. I've got you. You are not alone in this journey. So many of us find ourselves questioning our relationship, unsure of the next step. You're already taking the first step by acknowledging your doubts and reaching out for clarity. Let's take that next step together, with a community that values honesty over perfection. Oh, and by the way, before we move to the next important point, if you're liking what you're hearing, hit that like button. Let's give it some love. And if you don't want to miss out on our next cool video, smash subscribe and ring the bell so you're the first to know. Now drop a quick "I subscribe" in the comments and I'll personally welcome you to the family. With that said, let's continue. Most breakups don't start with yelling. They start with silence. We expect conflict to show up in loud, dramatic ways. But the most dangerous breakdowns in relationships happen quietly, in the spaces between the words and gestures that once held meaning. It's in the unspoken distance, the silence that grows every time you both stop trying to understand each other. No one throws a chair, no one storms out. It's just small moments, quietly slipping away. There's no explosion, no dramatic confrontation, just little things. The missed texts, the lack of a kiss goodnight, the absence of asking about each other's day. When the everyday closeness fades, the cracks begin to form in ways that are hard to see. One day, they stop asking how your day was. You stop reaching out first. The small things that used to show you cared, the simple "how was your day?" begin to fade into the background. It might seem trivial at first, but these moments build the foundation of intimacy in a relationship. When they stop, you start to feel like there's something missing. You don't know exactly when it happened, but you realize you don't feel seen anymore. You don't feel like a priority. The laughter fades, the affection dries up. You fight more, or stop fighting altogether. Relationships can be filled with passionate debates, but when those fights turn into silence, it's often a sign that emotional disengagement has already taken hold. The connection weakens, and in the absence of fighting, there's a profound loss of interest and understanding. There's no big moment to point to, just a slow, painful drift. It's not like there was a major blow-up. No one made a dramatic decision to quit. It just happened over time, slowly, without warning. You don't remember the moment when the emotional distance began to grow, but it's there now, and you can feel it. The worst part? It's hard to pinpoint where it all went wrong, but you just know it's no longer the same. You don't even remember when the distance started. You just know it's here now, and it's cold. You may be physically close, but emotionally, there's this cold, unspoken gap. It's the quiet suffering that wears away at the bond you once shared. And that's what makes this kind of collapse so hard to notice. Because from the outside, things look fine. When we look at a couple from the outside, we often see what appears to be normal. There are no fights, no tears, no outbursts. But deep down, when you're in the relationship, you can feel the lack of connection. You can sense the emotional absence even when everything appears to be fine on the surface. But inside, you feel lonely, even when they're sitting right next to you. It's a profound loneliness that no one else can see, and it's this kind of loneliness that often leads to questioning the future of the relationship. The intimacy is gone, and it feels impossible to get back. This is what emotional exhaustion looks like. Not rage, but feeling like no matter what you say or do, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not about explosive arguments or hateful words. It's the quiet, numbing exhaustion of feeling like your efforts to reconnect are futile. You feel like you've tried everything, but nothing seems to work. And you can't quite put your finger on why. The saddest part is that most couples don't fall apart because they don't care. They fall apart because they miss what's happening underneath the surface. What most couples fail to realize is that the love didn't vanish. The bond didn't break suddenly. It eroded in small, invisible ways, through missed attempts to reconnect, through the walls that were built out of frustration and fear. Like repair attempts, the small, quiet ways we try to reconnect. When there's distance, we make small attempts to bridge the gap. A quick joke to lighten the mood after a fight. A soft touch on the shoulder to remind them we still care. A simple, "Did you eat?" when the weight of the world seems too heavy to express with words. These gestures are often misinterpreted, or worse, ignored, and we end up retreating further. A "did you eat?" when words feel too heavy. When we can't talk about the deeper emotions, we fall back on small gestures that convey care, but they get lost in the noise of unresolved feelings. But if the other person doesn't recognize it as love, it just disappears. If they don't recognize those little things as meaningful expressions of affection, they fade into nothing. The love is still there, but it's hidden under layers of frustration and miscommunication. Then there's emotional translation, where one person pulls away thinking space will help, but the other sees it as rejection. This is where a lot of misunderstandings arise. One person needs time to process, and the other interprets it as abandonment. It's not that one person doesn't care, they just don't know how to show it in a way that resonates with their partner. Or one person is crying out for closeness, and the other just shuts down, not out of coldness, but fear. The fear of making things worse, of not knowing how to fix the pain. It's a defense mechanism, not an intentional act of neglect. It's not that they don't care, it's that they don't know how to show up in your language. Every person has a different way of expressing love, but when these languages are misunderstood, the connection fades. Sometimes it's not that they've stopped caring, it's that they've stopped knowing how to care in the way you need them to. I once worked with a couple who hadn't said "I miss you" in over 6 months. They thought they had stopped caring, but every morning, one of them still made coffee for the other. Quietly, without asking. That was the "I miss you." But it went unseen. Sometimes love looks quiet. Sometimes it's not in the big gestures, but in the subtle, everyday actions. These small acts of kindness speak volumes, but if we don't recognize them as signs of love, they get overlooked. Because no one told them love can look quiet too. Love doesn't always need to be loud or grand. It's in the details. The things we do for each other when we think no one is looking. With that said, thanks a bunch for tuning in. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Can't wait to catch you in the next video. Let's continue pushing the conversation forward.